Hey there, Coastal Academy families. My name is Mr. Powell. I'm one of the history teachers over at the Escondido campus, and I am the lead on the TCA East Coast trip. I'm the guy that was supposed to be with you on Tuesday, and I totally blew it. I thought Tuesday was Wednesday, and Wednesday was Tuesday, and blah, 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 blah. So I'm really sorry about that, but thank you, Mr. Brock, for doing a great job, and Mr. Stanford for doing a great job hosting that meeting. You have all sent me some questions, so I'm going to answer those right now. First up, this is going to be the 15th trip that I've been on. I absolutely love this trip. I am a 100% supporter of this thing, and so I will do my best to make sure that you feel comfortable and are ready to rock and roll and are excited about this amazing adventure. Question number 1, how are kids assigned to rooms? All right, so I do the assigning of the rooms. Boys are in boy rooms, girls are in girl rooms. There's really no exceptions to that. Certainly with parents in the rooms, we work with your situation. And if there is someone that you really, really, really want in your room when you are registering, make sure that you write their name in the registration form. That'll tell the tour company that you want in that room. It also lets me know. But better yet, just email me. And when it comes to putting kids in rooms, usually around September, then I'll try to do my very, very, very best to accommodate you for that. Okay? Number 2, I might add also as well, we always, unless a parent doesn't want to be in a kid room and does a solo room, the child and their parent, they're in a room together, okay? All right, how are chaperones roomed? This is a great question off of what we just talked about. Chaperones are unlike any other chaperone type field trip that you've done. You really are a tour participant. You're not holding everyone's hand, walking them around through tour exhibits. Sometimes that does occur on this, but you're really there to see the sights and sounds along with the rest of us. We have 2 tour guides that go around on our buses. They're really in charge of the different locations that we are out and pointing us in different directions. Certainly myself, Mr. Curry, Mr. Brock, we're going to be also there kind of helping guide and direct. But you should really feel like, yep, you're a part of this whole adventure along with the rest of us. You're also there just kind of eyes and ears, making sure the kids are staying with the tour as well. But how are you roomed? Well, if you, let's say that you are a dad and you've got your daughter there, but you sign up for a quad room, we're probably going to put you with 3 other boys. Or if you're a dad and a son and you want a room with another dad and a son, let me know and we'll put you in there as well. Or if you're a mom and you've got your daughter, maybe you just want your own room, you can sign up for a double. Or if you want the quad rate and you don't mind having a couple other girls in your room, great. We'll put you in there with a couple rooms, a couple other girls. So that's how chaperones are roomed. It really depends on how you decide you want to tour. I've had parents that just say, give me a single room, I'll pay the higher rate. I'll put my kid at the quad rate and I'll put them in with 3 other boys or girls and life is good. I'm totally fine with that. You are honestly in control of how you want to be roomed. You can be alone. You can be alone just with your kid. That's called a double rate. You can be in a triple room with you, your kid, and your kid's friend. Or you can be a quad, and that's the cheapest, and that's where it'd be you, your child, and 2 other kids of the same gender, basically. If you have any questions on that, please feel free to email me or talk to the tour company, and they will make sure that you get roomed in the best situation possible. Number 3, is the quad occupancy for kids? I would say yes to this, or just basically for humans of the same gender, right? So you've got it could be a dad and 3 boys, it could be a mom and 3 girls, it could be 2 moms and 2 girls, it could be 2 dads and two sons, whatever, right? So 4 people to a room is what the quad rate is, okay? Or quad occupancy, that was the question. Question number 4. What play will they see and when will they know what it is? All right, so the way the plays work, and that's one reason why the deposit's about $80 more this year than last year. It's about 300 and something this year. It was like high 200s last year, is because the Broadway shows are now mandating there's no refunds on tickets anymore. Broadway has become wildly popular. It also really helps us though, because when we can buy tickets right up front, it gives us better buying power and leverage for better seats for you. So, as regarding to the plays, I am very aware of what plays are appropriate for our audience. We've seen plays like Aladdin. We've seen plays like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Last year we saw Wicked. Anastasia we've seen before. And so we pick a age level appropriate play. And that play is usually released. Last year I actually did it during the meeting right before the trip. So that was like up in November. So we kind of hang on to that one. We look and we see what's actually going to be available in the fall. And then once we can lock into our tickets with the group that we've got, then I'll let you know. All right? But that's kind of the process around how do we select the plays. Number 5, how do cancellations work? Okay, so this is the sad reality. Some of you get signed up, you're super excited, but like at the last minute, oh man, something came up. And we totally get that. The way the cancellations work is the deposit is non-refundable. But as you're making your payments along, there are certain time windows where certain percentages of the trip can be refunded. And so I don't want to speak for the company, but that's a great question to ask them. But even up to like 2 weeks before the trip, I've had some money be refunded, which is really amazing of our tour company to do. So they definitely will work with you. And but there is a point in time, like a week out or 2 weeks out, where unfortunately most of that money has already been spent on hotels, buses, tour guides, admission to attractions, flights, all that kind of stuff, right? Yep. What is the true cost? And this is regarding like, okay, so we have our initial fee that we're paying, but what else do we need to bring money for? So I would say the only thing that you need to bring money for are 2 meals. That is your airport meals on either end of the trip, and whatever souvenir money you want to bring along. So that might be $100 more, $200 more bucks. It really kind of depends on what do you want to buy. I always tell kids, you know, for an 8-day trip, a couple meals in an airport, that might be 10 or 20 bucks depending on what you eat. And then now you've got 80 more for a sweater, a hat, a this or a that. So I always just say bring another 100 bucks. You can totally do it. The other thing to keep in mind is, and it kind of goes with the 7th question that I got, where do they eat for the 3rd meal? So I'm assuming this means dinner. Breakfasts, we generally eat in the hotels. Those are free, already covered by your tour cost. Lunches, and I want to give a shout out to Mr. Curry, our executive director, who also goes on this trip. Our school invests money into this trip beyond what you're paying. So you are handed a $20 bill, sometimes it's 15, but usually it's 20 bucks when it's time for lunch. That is really generous and super amazing. We go to a food court, something like that, that really caters to all sorts of dietary needs. That's probably another question I could talk about too. But for that 3rd meal, that's usually more of a restaurant type setting. And so like when we're in Williamsburg, we're going down into this really old tavern, like Revolutionary War era tavern underneath, and we're getting this like wonderful meal of fried chicken and mashed potatoes and vegetables and yum, 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 yum. Other places like Buca di Beppo, that's a really fun one. So places that tend to serve larger groups and have that kind of that family style feel to them. But there's there's this place in Washington, D.C., which is sort of like an English pub, and you get to pre-order your meals. So a email will be coming out. You'll be able to select what you want. Oh, I want a salad this time. Oh, I want chicken nuggets. Oh, nope, I want the hamburger. Oh, whatever. Okay. So that 3rd meal is usually at a restaurant type setting. The lunch is usually a food court type setting. And then the breakfast right there at the hotel. Okay. What about luggage size and what do you recommend? Well, looky here, people. I've got my table of luggage. So let's make sure the camera is all set. Yeah, it looks pretty good right there. All right. My wife and son went on the trip last year, so I wanted to show you what I bring and what my wife brings. So what I bring is I have this piece of luggage here. And you can kind of see how big it is. This is what I'll check into the airport. It's also got a handle and I can roll it along. And it's not too huge because every person has to hold their own luggage. I always recommend a piece of luggage like this and a carry-on. This is my carry-on. A nice lightweight backpack. It holds everything that I need. It's super good. So when my wife and son went last year on the trip, this is exactly what she brought. She brought a standard size piece of luggage. Again, pretty light when it's empty, but big enough to handle all the needs for 8-day trip. And then a backpack. Perfect, super easy. And then she also had kind of a travel backpack purse kind of contraption, either hung at the side or strung on the back, that when we're doing our day tripping, you're not lugging along a huge backpack, you've got a nice little bag. That's really important for like going through security, especially in Washington, D.C. And we're doing lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of walking. So those are the items that I would recommend you bring on the trip. A nice size check-in for 8 days of luggage, or 8 days of clothing and all of your toiletries and everything, and then a backpack. Also, because you have 2 charter buses going around, you can leave your backpack on the bus or your heavy jacket if it's not too cold, and then all of your stuff will be waiting for you when you come back, and now you're only bringing your lightweight purse, or just put some things in your pocket. All right? So that was that on luggage. And then the last question I got was, what was the medication policy? All right, so what you'll do is, if you have special medication that you need, there will be a form that you will fill out and let us know what type of medication it is, when does it need to be taken, all that type of info, your contact information, all of that. We expect the 8th graders at this point to be pretty responsible with medication. If they're in a room with a chaperone, we'll let that chaperone know, and then they'll kind of just remind to make sure that they're taking it along. If a child gets sick on the trip, and this usually happens to dehydration. So first up, I'm telling them, drink water, drink water, drink water. And the bus drivers do a really good job of having little water bottles ready for us for just $1. So we're making sure that they're drinking lots of water, staying hydrated, and getting some good sleep. But if someone gets a little bit of a cold, usually there's some really couple good tour moms that come along, and they pack basically a Walgreens just because that's who they are. And they've got little medications for this and for that and for headaches and for little sniffles and coughs and all that kind of stuff. Or sometimes we're not eating quite what we're used to and our stomachs aren't feeling really good. So, and we also have access to those stores if need be. But we always contact you to make sure that it's all right to give your child some kind of over-the-counter medication. So you'll be seeing this medical form coming out towards the in the fall. We'll be sending this out, and then you can fill that out. So those were your 9 questions that you had. Really good ones. I hope I've covered them, and I am 100% positive that some of the things that I've said on this video have probably spawned some more questions. I'm really happy to do another video for you, or you're welcome to come out to one of our other meetings. But I hopefully have reassured you that this trip, we've got this thing covered. We've been doing it for a long time. Security is one of our utmost priorities. In the hotel rooms, there's actually security guards that are hired by the tour company that sit in the hallways and make sure all night long, and just make sure that students aren't going in and out of their rooms, that everyone's locked in, safe, going to sleep, getting a good night's sleep. And we just know these tour routes really, really well. So we've had everything from kids getting sick to a couple years ago, we even had a surprise snowstorm, which was actually kind of cool because we got some snow in Central Park, which was like a way Hallmark moment. But we know how to react and respond appropriately to anything that comes up and make sure that everyone arrives on the trip and gets home nice and safe, full of fun memories from a total adventure that stems all the way from Williamsburg up through Washington, D.C., through Amish country into Philadelphia, and then 2 just wild and crazy, wonderful days in New York City. So I hope to see you on the trip. Please let Mr. Brock know if you have any other questions. And for now, Mr. Powell out. See ya.